Let me be direct, gentlemen. Most men assume that their prostate expands naturally as they age after the age of 60. However, this is the startling reality. Because of your advanced age, your prostate is not growing. It is growing as a result of a daily routine that nearly all men over 60 engage in without even recognizing it. And your prostate is being silently suffocated by this habit, which is making it get bigger and bigger until you can no longer empty your bladder, wake up every hour at night, and feel like your masculinity is eroding. My name is Dr. Mohit Kara, and I have over 30 years of expertise as a men's health specialist and urologist. I've dedicated my life to assisting men in maintaining their dignity, reviving their prostates, and preserving their vigor long into their 70s and beyond. I've witnessed firsthand how one careless lifestyle decision can convert a patient's golden years into years of worry and misery. I've sat across from thousands of patients, men who looked exactly like you. The paradox is this. Many men believe that prostate issues are unavoidable and just another age-related affliction. However, that is untrue. Even at 80, some men maintain their strength and lack of symptoms. It's neither genetics or luck that makes the difference. It's the decisions they make every day. And more than any other behavior, there is one harmful decision that contributes to the growth of the prostate. Remain with me, because I'll tell you exactly what that habit is in a few minutes. Stopping it will result in deeper sleep, better flow, fewer bathroom trips, and even more confidence in the bedroom. And I swear that before this video concludes, I'll explain this behavior and the easy, doable actions you can take right now to reverse its negative effects. It's essential to your freedom. Make sure you click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell before we begin so you don't miss any more videos about prostate and health protection. If this message speaks to you, please leave a comment. If not, enter 0 and tell me how I can make these films better for you. Let's now explore the actual causes of the prostate's growth after age 60. It's not only bad genes or your age. You'll discover why so many guys endure needless suffering once you comprehend the secret mechanism that is subtly causing this expansion. Why, after age 60, the prostate expands. The secret system. In my clinic, I frequently hear the same words from males sitting across from me. I suppose I'm just getting older, doctor. As though the issues they are facing are just inevitable. They say it with a certain resignation. And I can see why people have such feelings. Ultimately, the figures are astounding. Most men will have some kind of prostate enlargement by the time they are in their 60s. However, I would like to share with you something that I do with my patients. Age is not the only factor. Your body doesn't suddenly turn on you. In actuality, the signals and forces that induce the prostate to develop are really particular, and they are greatly impacted by the decisions you make on a daily basis. This is how it actually operates. The prostate is a gland that is extremely sensitive. Hormones, especially the delicate balance between estrogen and testosterone, cause it to react swiftly. Naturally, this balance starts to change as you get older. Estrogen gradually increases while testosterone decreases. The prostate is more susceptible just because of that imbalance. However, it doesn't end there. The prostate gets a steady signal to expand as circulation slows down, inflammation subtly increases, and your metabolism begins to malfunction. It is comparable to a smoldering fire. You add another log to the fire with each harmful habit you continue. A simple task like emptying your bladder becomes a nightly struggle as the gland grows over months and years, pressing against your urethra. I've witnessed how it affects males. They come to me feeling worn out, ashamed, and occasionally even irate. They have trouble sleeping at night. Without knowing the location of the closest restroom, they are terrified to leave the house. Their bodies make them feel imprisoned. However, their eyes change when I clarify that the enlargement is caused by particular stresses rather than pure luck. They understand that there is hope. They come to the realization that they have more power than they ever thought. And with that, I reach the most damaging pressure of all. The one daily routine that subtly drives this whole process. And almost all men over 60 engage in it without even realizing it. Do you want to find out what it is? The worst habit of all is excessive sitting. I thought hormones were the main cause of prostate issues when I initially started practicing medicine. However, after hearing thousands of men recount the specifics of their everyday lives over the years, I started to see a trend. It went beyond what they consumed or the medications they took. Hour after hour, day after day, it was about their way of life. And the amount of time they spent sitting was the one habit that was more noticeable than the others. Men used to tell me that they liked spending long afternoons in their recliners after retiring, or that they visited their grandchildren by driving across the state, or that they sat in front of the TV in the evenings. These rituals initially appeared innocuous, even consoling. However, it became more apparent the more I examined it. One of the worst things a man could do to his prostate was to sit for extended periods of time. Why? Because sitting motionless deprives your pelvis of new blood flow. As oxygen delivery decreases and blood flow slows, the prostate resembles a plant abandoned in arid soil. It gets irritated, bloated, and inflamed with time. You get the ideal storm when you combine that with the hormonal changes that occur after the age of 60. Furthermore, prolonged periods of inactivity raise estrogen levels, cause insulin resistance, and increase belly fat. Every element that directly contributes to prostate growth, and I have personally witnessed the impact. The most severe symptoms are frequently seen in men who spend the most of their days seated, ongoing desires to urinate, trouble initiating their stream, and a diminished sense of control over their life's rhythm. One patient in particular, a proud veteran, informed me that after retirement, he sat in his favorite chair most of the time. His prostate grew so large over the years that he could hardly sleep for longer than an hour at a time. I can still hear the sorrow in his voice when he told me that he shunned family road vacations because he was afraid of having to use the restroom every half hour. For this reason, I believe that the worst habit of all is excessive sitting. It gently enters your life, feels at ease, and even seems justified, but it gradually stifles the health of your prostate. The good news? You may reverse this link by taking easy actions once you understand it. However, since the harm extends well beyond the physical symptoms, let's examine the emotional implications of this behavior before moving on to potential remedies. 3. Emotional truth. How this behavior takes your life. I've seen things throughout the years that have hurt me more than any test score ever could. It's how the pleasures of life are gradually robbed by prostate issues. Men who approach me are not weak. They are industrious Americans who have established their towns and families on their own 2 feet. They are also dads, husbands, and veterans. However, I see the pride in their eyes fade when the prostate starts to swell, when nightly sleep is interrupted by frequent bathroom breaks, and when the stream becomes weak and erratic. They start to feel as though they are losing some of their dignity along with control over their bodies. One patient informed me that he was embarrassed to have to run off the course to use the lavatory, so he stopped playing golf with his pals. Another acknowledged that the lengthy drive was too much for his bladder, so he stopped taking his son fishing. Their shouts carried a hint of irritation, but underneath it was a deeper emotion: fear. Fear that their lives would be like this for the rest of their lives. Fear that they would never be able to experience the basic pleasures they once took for granted because they would be imprisoned by their own bodies. And missing activities isn't the end of it. It also infiltrates their marriages. Many men avoid intimacy because they feel humiliated, insecure, or embarrassed, not because they don't love their wives. The prostate can weaken a man's spirit when it starts to dictate his days and nights. The real tragedy of this behavior, in my opinion, is that not only is it physically uncomfortable, but it also erodes happiness, independence, and kinship. This is what's noteworthy, though. Science has started to demonstrate that it is feasible to end this damaging loop. Prostate symptoms and lifestyle choices are clearly linked, according to studies. You'll discover why altering even little habits can restore hope and health once you see the evidence. Let's now examine the science and find the evidence that supports the observations I have made about my own patients over the years. 4. This is supported by science. I realize that some guys may think I'm exaggerating when I discuss the risks of excessive sitting, but I would never ask you to believe me. The evidence is indisputable, and science has made its point rather plainly. After tracking thousands of men, Harvard researchers found that males who sat for more than 6 hours a day had a significantly higher risk of developing benign prostatic hyperplasia, the medical name for an enlarged prostate. It was a strong and steady relationship, not a little one. Another study conducted at Johns Hopkins found that males who walked or did other moderate daily activities experienced a roughly 25% decrease in urine symptoms. Consider that. Simply increasing your daily physical activity led to fewer trips to the potty, less straining, and more peaceful sleep. Sedentary lifestyles are now acknowledged as a significant risk factor for prostate illness by the American Urological Association, the largest professional association of its kind. This is the official stance of the very physicians who dedicate their lives to this subject. Therefore, it is not a haphazard view, and it all makes sense when you look more closely. Circulation, which supplies the prostate with oxygen and nutrients, is fueled by movement. Activity keeps the prostate constant and tranquil by balancing hormones, reducing inflammation, and reducing belly fat. Hours of inactivity, on the other hand, have the opposite effect, increasing estrogen, filling your body with inflammatory chemicals, and depriving the pelvic area of new blood. This is something I've observed in my own work. Men who continue to be active, even in small, modest ways, tend to come to me with fewer grievances. They feel more in charge of their lives, sleep better, and urinate less frequently. The males who sit for extended periods of time each day are the ones that suffer the most, and they may need surgery to get better. For this reason, I contend that science is more than a journal's worth of data. It reflects what actual males go through on a daily basis. The next logical question is, what can you do about it now that you know the truth? That's just what we'll find out next, because protecting your prostate is easier than you may imagine. 5. The first thing my patients ask me when I tell them that sitting is the worst habit for their prostate is, "Doctor, what can I do about it?" Furthermore, the solution is straightforward. You don't have to purchase pricey gym subscriptions or run marathons. Simple, regular movement is what your prostate most needs. Break up your sitting to begin. Remind yourself to get up every half an hour. You've already benefited your prostate even if all you do is pace for a minute, stretch your legs, or walk across the room. The pressure that builds up from prolonged sitting is relieved and blood flow is renewed by that slight action. Walking every day is another simple adjustment. I suggest 20 to 30 minutes of vigorous walking, the kind that raises your heart rate just enough to keep you from feeling worn out. I've witnessed men change their evenings simply by making the daily commitment to take a quick stroll. A retired teacher patient told me that he used to get up 5 times a night, but now only once, and he attributed this change to nothing more than his nighttime walks. Additionally, you can incorporate mild exercises throughout the day, such as hip stretches, standing calf raises, or mild squats with a chair for balance. Although these aren't exercises in the conventional sense, they promote circulation and engage the pelvic muscles, which are crucial. Remember the evenings as well. After supper, far too many guys unwind in their recliners until it's time to go to bed. Stop the cycle. Stretch while watching the game, take a stroll around the home, or stand during commercials. These little actions add up to effective defense. Naturally, combine exercise with drinking plenty of water and eating better. Toxins are more efficiently flushed from a moving body, and the benefits increase when you support it with anti-inflammatory foods and water. The best thing about these remedies is that you can have them right now. However, what truly motivates men to change is not just what they may accomplish, but also how they will feel after they begin. That's what we'll discuss next. The amazing changes that occur when you eventually get out of the chair. 6. When you quit sitting too much, what happens? When a patient returned to see me 3 months after making a small adjustment, I will always remember the expression on his face. He had been one of those men who woke up 6 or 7 times a night while confined to his recliner, certain that the only way out was surgery. However, his story started to alter when he made a commitment to stand every 30 minutes, go for daily walks, and move more in the evenings. "I finally slept through the night, doctor," he murmured as he sat across from me. That experience served as a reminder to me that, given the opportunity, the body is always prepared to mend. Your prostate starts to relax when you quit sitting too much. Inflammation subsides, blood flow increases, and the ongoing strain on your bladder starts to decrease. After a few weeks, men frequently observe that the urgency has decreased. They no longer spend their days going to the bathroom incessantly. They experience a stronger, more consistent stream, and at night they wake up once or perhaps never, which is a blessing that lifts their spirits and gives them more vitality. However, the advantages extend beyond urinating. Due to improved pelvic circulation, harder erections, increased stamina, and the resurgence of self-assurance they believed had vanished, many men report feeling more confident in the bedroom. There is also emotional freedom, which goes beyond the physical. Imagine going on a trip without worrying about where to locate the next bathroom, playing a whole round of golf with your friends, or watching your grandson play baseball without any concerns. When you regain control of the chair, these moments become meaningful again. It is hardly a miracle that this has changed. It comes naturally when you respect your body's functions. You have nothing to fear from your prostate. It has always been an assistance signal. It appreciates it when you listen and move in response. This leads us to the last and possibly most significant truth. The true decision is whether you will take charge now or wait until the issue compels you to do so, even though getting out of the chair alters everything. 7. Last word, take charge today, gentlemen. If you remember anything from our time together, it's that your future is not set in stone. Too many men in their 60s and 70s believe they have no choice but to put up with feeble streams, frequent toilet trips, and sleepless nights due to an enlarged prostate. However, I have often observed that even minor intentional adjustments can have a profound impact on your health. You don't have to be controlled by your worst habit, which is spending too much time sitting down. Now is the time to start escaping it. After realizing the power of movement, I have witnessed guys who had lost all hope find a new feeling of control. We all grow when we share, so please share what you learned today and what change you're ready to make in the comments box below. Let's support each other. If you found this movie useful or if it even slightly opened your eyes, please click the like button. To be sure you don't miss any information that could change your health, click subscribe. Before you go, ring the bell. If this video was helpful, please enter 1. If not, enter 0. You might not be aware of the significance of your comment. I was told by a veteran firefighter that he never believed it would make a difference to stand up every 30 minutes. But after a few weeks, he became aware that he was sleeping less. He returned to the golf course a few months later and played 18 holes worry-free. His remarks were straightforward but impactful. "I feel like I've regained my life, doctor. You too can experience that kind of change. You transmit messages to your prostate, and it reacts. You contribute to the issue by sitting motionless for an hour every day. You are communicating healing and balance to your body each time you decide to move. It's that simple. And you will realize that you are not helpless when you start to notice the changes: stronger flow, greater confidence, fewer nighttime interruptions. You have authority, and you have been all along. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Avoid waiting until you are confined to medication or forced into the surgery room. Make the decision to stand, walk, and live differently today. Keep your freedom, your prostate, and the years to come safe. This is what I, Dr. Mohit Kara, can assure you of. Your body will thank you when you take action. Your greatest years are still ahead of you, so take charge now.